Do you believe in the existence of extraterrestrials?
Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fessler, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy frickin' Friday, everybody. Friday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. Have you made your Valentine happy? I certainly hope so, because you know what? It's time to buckle up, get ready, and talk UFOs, my friend. How you doing today? Yes, we've got a great show to go ahead and got some documents here that came from Luis D. Elizondo at P.O. Box 337, Buffalo, Wyoming. Yeah, we got, some questions that were asked after Lou's last appearance at in the hearing in front of the House of Representatives, and we've got some great answers to go with some questions that were asked by Representative Burleson. On that note, let me go ahead and cut to the chase. And welcome in our audience. Who the heck do we have out there? Let's take a look. Well, I see Ann Joanne along with $70 Million Man X. We've got Amiga Rules and Anne Marie. Anonymous Rex is here all the way from Oregon. You better believe it, my friend. Let's welcome in Anton Goes, Benjamin Dreyer, Charles Kerr, and Charmaine. How about that? We've got Christine Sanders. Corporal Abe is back all the way from Honolulu. Let's welcome in Creativity from the Future, Carmudge in Alaska, Dana H, Destiny Rocks, Dolly Farton, and Daryl just popped in. How about that? We've got Fernando Suazo. Firefly is here along with Frank Cathell. Good to see you, Frank. I also see Frank Raffa. Frazzy says, or Frazzle says, and we got Paul Demond. What happened, Paul? Did you get locked up? Lock it, Paul, up. Yes, we've had plenty of people asking for that, but no, we have not done it. We also have Geraldine's here along with Gizmo. We got Healthy Live and Hemi God. I see Eyes Sky High. Jan's here along with Jessica Jane 20. We got John Mooner, Johnny UFO, Juliana Reverbal, and Kathy and Kelly Bro with those piercing blue eyes. Good to see you, Kelly. We also have Luciano Santos. Mardeluz, close enough. Megan's here along with Michelle and Mick and Mr. Grimlock as well. I see we've got Mr. Joey B hanging out in the audience along with Nancy Kuzmano and Neil Morgan and Niles Guy. We're going to be going nowhere fast. And then we've got Omar's here. Good to see you, my friend. And Paladin of Theseus. Oh, I'm not going to go there. Let's get Paul Johnson here along with Rainstorm Hunter. We've got Raymar, Robin Smith, and Roland. I also have Rollins, two of them right next to each other. We got Sam and Sam Wallace and Space Ghost Flights along with Stephen Forbes, and Steve Hines, and Steve Leaps. The Steves are here and present. We also have Sunflower and Super Unknown, Terrence Bunce, and the Chromosome Cowboy. We've also have the Coin 405, not the Corn 405. Slow down, Tom. You've had a migraine and you're on 3 medications at the same time. Well, I'm not safe to drive. I am safe to stream. We also have Tia Marie's here, along with Tom Clark, Toxic Revenger, and Trent Allgood. Looks like Mr. Turtlehead's here, and Two Head 66, along with 2 midgets on a horse. I'm not going to go there again, but let's welcome in Vern Dude, Woody Clar, and Yellow Tommy Tanker, also known as Andy, who's in the hospital. We hope you're doing all right, Andy. You're in for a checkup. Never a good stay. Our fingers are crossed for you, my friends. Yes, hey, at least you didn't have to wait in line to go ahead and get in. All right, on that note, let's go ahead and turn that off. And it's that time of the night, friends, to go ahead and welcome in our back panel. We've got a bunch of people back here who can't wait to talk to you. Let's see who we have out there. For our first person to welcome in is coming from the great state of Florida. Let's welcome in Alice W. How's it going, Alice?
Hello, Thomas. Happy Valentine's Day to you and to everyone here. And looking forward to the show.
Thank you very much, my dear lady. Happy Valentine's to you as well. I give you a card, but I didn't buy any this year. Let's welcome in next, coming from the great state of Colorado, Ashley Canaday. How's it going, Ashley?
Much love and hugs sent to everybody here. Hope it's a good one. Thanks.
Oh, well, fingers crossed. That's always a good one here at Disclosure tonight, but yeah. Especially because you came in today.
Here on a Friday night, this is where I've been for the last, 2 months.
I can't tell you how many years I've been here, so we'll leave it quiet on that front. Thank you for coming in.
So thank you.
Thank you. Also, our next friend is, he's currently in Honolulu, next to Waikiki Beach. What a beautiful place. Let's welcome in Corporal Abe. How's it going, Abe?
Pretty good. Happy Valentine's Day, Disclosure Tonight community, and Thomas. I'm really enjoying myself right now and just relaxing and sending love to you guys back in the mainland and all over the world.
Yeah, glad you could be joining with us, my friend. Thank you for coming in. Our next friend is coming to us from the great state of Indiana, of all places. Let's welcome in Daryl Zernick. How's it going, Daryl?
Hey, Thomas. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Looking forward to the show.
Yeah, thank you, my friend. Looks like you've got your Valentine right with you right now.
Oh, yeah. Ferrari says hi.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming in. Let's put our sights on Texas. It's the state you all want to be in. Let's welcome in Ed Brown. How's it going, Ed? Ed, there are so many people who are moving to Texas from California, Illinois, all over the place. How do you deal with that?
That's a pretty smart idea on their part to move. It's a great place to be here.
Yeah.
Weather's great. Going to compare with Dallas to see who's got the warmest temperature.
Yeah.
We're doing real well. It's going to be about 75 tomorrow or so.
But didn't you have a really big cold dip come down to Texas?
It came and left. It was a one-nighter.
Oh, there you go.
It was a one-night stand for the cold. So anyway, everyone is saying Happy Valentine's Day. I want to be the very first one in here to say Happy 4th of July. I'm just about 4 months early, but that's okay.
Thank you very much, Ed. Appreciate you coming out here. It's always great to have you in the audience. Well, let's go ahead now and put our sights on the Great White North, BC Great White North for that matter. Let's welcome in Freezer Man from Canada. How's it going, Freezer Man?
Going great, Thomas. I guess I want to say Happy Family Day to all of you, seeing as how that's what's happening up here on Monday.
Oh, wow. Interesting. I did not know you have Family Day in Canada.
Yes. We were probably one of the last provinces to bring it in, believe it or not.
I bet you'd rather have them have a tax-free Monday instead of a Family Day.
Well, that would help.
Yeah.
But I personally would rather have everybody just pay a flat 20% tax across the board. That would be probably way better.
Yeah, and that's all taxes combined for 20%, right?
Yes, but, politicians like their money, so...
Oh, yeah.
That won't happen.
Yeah, we've learned about all the social programs that we pay here in the United States. Not just the United States, but for the world. But you know what? Yeah, I hear you, my friend. Fingers crossed.
I'm sorry to hear about Andy, but hopefully he didn't have to wait 9 hours to get into the hospital, because that's the average wait time here.
Oh, boy.
It's brutal.
Different systems,
so
my
when
friend.
you hear Canadians talk about healthcare being free, it might be free, but you might be waiting a long time.
A long time. Yeah, I've heard of many people who have had to come across the border down to the United States to get surgeries that are life-saving in some cases because the backup is so bad up in Canada.
It is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But anyways,
thanks for coming in.
The show, Thomas.
You better believe it. Our next friend. Are you from Massachusetts, Kyle? I don't remember. We got Kyle Reinhardt in the back, and my mind is pulling a blank.
I'm from South Carolina.
South Carolina, that's right. I did not know that, haven't asked, but thank you for coming in today, Kyle. It's great having you here.
Good to be here.
Absolutely. Our next guest is coming in from the great state of Wisconsin. Green Bay area, I think. Let's welcome in Laura Campbell. How's it going, Laura?
It's going great, Thomas. Can you hear me?
We got you fine, my remote viewing targeter.
Okay, I just want to say Happy Valentine's Day to those people who don't have their loved ones with them, or Valentines that are single, like my mom is this year. Really want them to have a special day.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Laura. Appreciate sending love and care to everybody out there. It's so wonderful of you. Thank you. Also in the back, we've got our next friend. I know this guy's an asshole. Coming from Massachusetts, let's welcome in Sergeant Daniel, former USMC. How's it going, Daniel?
Outstanding. Good to be here. Thanks.
Thank you for coming in. Well, putting our sights now on California. It's a place we all don't want to live these days. I used to say it's a place you want to be, but Sarah, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, Thomas. A lot of interesting things happening. Can't wait to talk about it.
Oh, same here. Absolutely. And putting our sights on our last person, coming all the way from the East Coast, New York, I think. Let's welcome in Tia Marie. How's it going, Tia?
Hey, Thomas. How you doing? Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Happy Valentine's Day as well. I love the beanie. Looks great on you.
Thank you so much. You look good yourself there, sir.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm back in plaid.
I love plaid.
Thank you. Yeah, I've got plaid and I've got flannel, and actually, Washington State where I live, it's flannel season like 8 out of 12 months, if not 9.
That's right. I wear flannels in July, so don't worry about it.
Well, so do I at times. Thank you for coming in. Now, as I'd like to go ahead and welcome in. I've got that too loud. I got to turn that down. Mike, Disclosure. He's not here. He's taking care of some Valentine's Day stuff at his house and getting the kids to bed and having some Valentine's fun. And you know what? He will be joining us, hopefully, eventually. We'll see. But in the meantime, we are not going to wait around for anything. Well, the first thing I want to go ahead and cover here, yes, we've got some, our headlines today going ahead and talking about what? Oh, yeah, LUE Elizondo responds to Congress. We've got some deep documents to dive through, my friend. Yes, LUE Elizondo was asked a bunch of questions coming up from, coming from Eric Burleson after the last time he appeared. But before we get in the... sorry about that. He appeared in a hearing in front of the House of Representatives. But Ashley just reminded me, we have some super chats to thank for our audience first before we move on. I've got to do this because I love my audience, and I want to say thank you personally to the people who have thrown out super chats already. Who am I talking about? Ashley Kennedy just threw out a heart. Happy Valentine's Day, Ashley. Also, Ian Harding, Owls, UFOs, and aliens. Now, some people say there is a connection between owls and UFOs and aliens. You never know. And Gizmo's saying, woof, yes, Smoke is down hiding in the dog kennel from Moose. She's been in heat, and Moose has been crazy the last several days. Poor guy has barely eaten. His mind's been occupied, if you know what I mean. Well, it's his Valentine's Day early, for that matter. On that note, let's go ahead and get back to the first thing I want to go ahead and cover here today. See if I can make this a little bit larger. Now, this one caught me today. Caught me a little bit I wasn't expecting to see it, but I looked at it, and I think there's something there. I want to go ahead and see what their audience goes ahead and thinks, and people are back in our panel. So on that note, let me go ahead and get up this first one here. Let me bring it up. And so what we've got here is I screwed up that one. All right, let's go back to here. What we've got is a tweet coming from Think Tank. A live stream webcam detected 19 unidentified cigar-shaped craft departing from Mount Popocatépetl. Sorry, I can't pronounce that. In Mexico, in a coordinated sortie. And, let me go ahead and download this quick so we can take a closer look at it, because this is good. And if I'm a little slower, a little bit more flighty than usual today, yes, I had a migraine earlier this afternoon, and I've already mentioned this before, never mind. I've taken my meds. I've taken them not twice. That would definitely not be a good idea. All right, let's go ahead and bring up this video. So this was taken on 8/24/2023. About a year and a half ago, give or take, a little bit more than that. But I've never seen this video. So we've got the volcano up in here going and erupting, but you've got these things right up in here. that are coming out of the volcano. Now, let me go ahead and just zoom in a little bit closer on this particular section. And first thing I like about these things is they're bright on the top, they're dark on the bottom. Oh, you're not going to go ahead and allow me to go ahead frame by frame forward, are you? Try and do it. No, it's not going to let me do it, so I'll do it by hand. If we're going to go ahead and watch this play along here, they're going to zoom in. And you watch these things, they're literally coming out of the volcano, but they're coming in a direct order. Now, if this was something like a eruption and we potentially had some things being ejected on it, it'd be going up and it would be coming down and moving it. We're seeing these things, looks like on a really good 45-degree angle as it's actually going ahead and coming out of it. And there's a bunch of them. One after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. I guess there was a total of 15 of them. What's even interesting on this particular one, we've got some other shorter ones that are potentially coming out that are a little bit darker in appearance. You know, someone's saying, Lit Clicker is saying, could it be, what did he say again? Could it be tracers? What would be coming out for tracers? Coming out of a volcano. And the overall speed is not that fast. So it's kind of, whatever we're seeing coming out of here is definitely something more than what we would normally see coming out of a volcano. Corporal Abe, you have your hand up, my friend.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but that's definitely not tracers, because who's going to hump a machine gun up a volcano and then fire tracers as the volcano's erupting? That's just not happening.
And those and these things are relatively large too. They're not small.
Yeah. For me, it seems like that those objects are a bit further in the distance, but they're all coming out in uniformity and unison. I'm confused. I don't know what the hell that is, but it's definitely not a guy with a machine gun.
No,
some tracer rounds sitting on top of a volcano. It's just not. Nobody's that intentional enough to go up a volcano and shoot this off and prepare for something, because you never know when a volcano is going to happen.
Oh, absolutely. But it's one of those things. You see a lot of UFO videos out there. You look at it. Well, that's too good. That looks really fake. But this one here just has the feeling of there's a there. Now, Tia Maria, you have your hand up. Yeah.
I was just going to piggyback off of Corporal A, because they look like awfully big machine gun bullets, if that's the case. They're huge.
Yeah, they would be, probably 50 to 70 feet long, at least, if not larger. These things are pretty hefty in size. Now, if it was really close, you might see tracers like that, but maybe not exactly at the speed, because if you look at what we're seeing here is as it's playing, that the actual movement is you're seeing it synchronized to the movement of the clouds. So these things are not going that fast. More so, we can see that they're kind of coming right at the layer right behind the clouds. So they don't look like they're far. And here's the thing. If they were farther in the distance, that means these things would be huge.
Yeah, and look at the bottom of them. They have like a metallic look, almost like a shadow. See it?
Yeah, I wouldn't even call it metallic. What we can see is that they're definitely lighter on the top, darker on the bottom. More so, if you look at that with the shading and illumination that's going on across it, it looks like it's something that's, rounded, like my stomach, rounded.
Yeah, like it's there.
Yeah.
Right?
Something that's undeniable.
Yeah, like maybe it was supposed to be cloaking, I'm sorry. And then that happened and it just screwed it all up.
Or maybe they're just coming out and they don't want to hide.
Maybe, because look at how many times we've had videos of them coming in and out of volcanoes, active volcanoes. So it doesn't surprise me that they're around these volcanoes. Not at all.
Yeah, absolutely. That is something a lot of people have seen throughout the years. Yeah, we do see UFOs coming out of and going into volcanoes many times. Ashley, you have your hand up.
This is reminiscent to me of the TikTok videos.
Yeah. It is a bit, but they're a bit longer in shape. Not bigger, but just longer in shape. Was our traditional cylinder size UFOs that have been sighted in the United States going back to the 50s, if not earlier.
Yeah, and I just looked and I saw one from like 1979 that was a cigar-shaped UFO.
Yeah.
Very
Someone in the
interesting.
audience. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying it was very interesting.
Yeah. Someone in the audience says, how do we know it's a volcano? Well,
This fire.
yeah, I know it's one of those things, but yes, this is actually at the very start of this before there was any zooming in. We actually have saying where it's coming from. It's webcams, de Mexico, with the date and everything. So if people are interested in looking it up, it happened on 8/24/2023, Mountain Daylight Time of 28:34:05 from webcamsdemexico.com. I think I said that right. Yeah, interesting thing. So it's one of those things, yes, and I'll be the first person to say out there, there's not a lot of stuff going on right now with regards to UFOs and Twitter and everything. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and talk about it anyway because that's what we're here for. So without any further ado, let me go ahead and, where's that at? Bring up the document here. So what we've got here, folks, is a real interesting document coming from D. Dean Johnson, someone who's gone and reported on, if you want to call it, the UFO topic and a lot of things happening in Congress, etc. Great resource for information. This is coming from the Congress of the United States, House of Representatives, in a letter dated December 9th. 2024 to Mr. Luis Elizondo, author and former Department of Defense official, at his P.O. Box address. So, long story short, dear Mr. Elizondo, we've got some post-hearing questions that we want you to answer. Please go ahead and return your written response to the committee on or before Monday, December 23rd, 2024. Almost 2 months ago at this point, give or take. Thank you for your prompt attention to this request. If you need additional information or have any other questions, please contact the Oversight and Accountability staff if anyone wants to contact them, their phone number is 202-225-5074. That's 202-225-5074. One more time so you don't forget, 202-225-5074. Signed, respectively, Nancy Mace Truan. I guess apparently you need to hear something 3 times in a row so you don't forget it. That's why I get all those annoying commercials on the radio where they say the phone number 3 times in a row. Yeah. All right. And also signed by Glenn Grothman. So let's get past the questions because they're all going to be answered down below with responses from Lou Elizondo. All right, so this is coming from Lou Elizondo, going to the Committee on Oversight and Accountability, the U.S. House of Representatives, the Honorable Nancy Mace. Let me just jump down here on my own here. Information Technology and Government Information, saying, yes, let's get to it. Here we go. Dear Chairwoman Nancy Mace and Chairman Glenn Grothman, it was an honor to testify November 13th, 2024, at the hearing titled Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, Exposing the Truth, convened by your subcommittees on the House Committee on Oversight and Accountability, also referred to as the committee here on end. I have responded to each question for the record, QFR, posed by Representative Eric Burleson on December 9th, 2024. Following the hearing, see attachment 1, the responses below are presented at the unclassified level. Don't do that. I remain available to provide additional details via secure means if I am given approval by a corresponding original classification authority. Question 1. Does any branch of the United States government or defense contractors, aerospace or otherwise, possess technology derived from a non-human source? So this is equivalent to LUE Elizondo, I believe, being under oath when he's answering these follow-up questions. And how does LUE answer that? Let's get to it. Response, yes. Turn that off. I served as a senior ranking person of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program within the Department of Defense. ATIP investigated unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAP. ATIP engaged senior executives at DoD defense aerospace companies who claimed they possess recovered exotic material not made by any U.S. or foreign source. Because these executives indicated that they could no longer glean additional insight from such material, they initially agreed to allow ATIP, also known as OSAP, to take custody of the material. Confirmation of this may be inferred from an official DoD office pre-publication and security review, known as DOPSR by all of us, document dated September 6, 2023. This document authorized the release of a statement by Dr. James Lukatsky, the former director of OSAP. That statement, marked clear for open publication, reads in part, the $22 million allocated for the OSAP program, after speaking with multiple individuals on the program, was originally intended to skiff out Bigelow Aerospace facilities in Las Vegas due to a UAP material divestment plan proposed to OSAP leadership by Lockheed Martin Space Systems. Vice President Dr. James Ryder, who is now deceased. Interesting one to say the least, my friends, because apparently that request was actually shut down by James Clapper because someone in the intelligence community flagged some issues potentially with Bigelow Aerospace that have not yet been disclosed. If anything, friends, it sounds like it's a cover-up. It's a cover-up. And what would Tim Burchett say? Oh, yeah, it's a cover-up. Let's move on. This statement addressed the crash retrieval of UAP material recovered during the 1950s and other historical operations. I was informed that immediately following the terrorist attack on 9/11, the U.S. government significantly reduced its UAP legacy efforts due to the budgetary constraints associated with the global war on terror. So there's your answer. Yes, we do have non-human materials in our possession. LUE Elizondo is saying this under the threat of perjury, if he said so, and losing his top secret clearance if he lied on it. Let's move on. Question 2. Stop doing that. Get to it. Does any branch of the United States military or defense contractors, aerospace and otherwise, by the way, thank you, Donna Fitzpatrick, go Eagles, employ exotic materials of non-human or non-terrestrial origin in any application, including aircraft and watercraft? Meaning that, are we taking and using any material from them to go ahead and use in some sort of an application with our own technology. This would call us kind of like Lou Elizondo and many times, and Hal Puthoff and others have said, Dr. Eric Davis, we lack the material science to go ahead and reproduce any of these materials. We understand how it works, but I believe Hal Puthoff said recently that, we tried to go ahead and lay down the materials on an atomic level, but we don't have the technology. For some reason in the process we were doing it, we couldn't get the atomic materials put together on atomic level to go ahead and adhere from one layer to the next. And they came out and I believe saying that we can't do it because we're not doing it in zero gravity. So what is Lou Elizondo saying? Yes, the U.S. government or a defense contractor has in its possession exotic materials of non-human origin. So now we're getting 2 yeses at this point, and I think Lou's being pretty clear on this. Let's move along. Question 3. Has the United States government or its defense contractors made new breakthroughs in physics that are currently undisclosed to the public, including at the university level? So, have we figured out any breakthroughs in physics? This would relate to the operation of the craft or the understanding the operation of the craft. And Lou gave us back an easy one on this one. Just a yes. Let's see where it goes next. I am intrigued, to say the least. Down, go to it. Hold. Take care of the chat at the same time. All right, let's move on. Question number 4. Are you aware of any evidence or indication that the United States military or defense contractors have recovered craft of non-human origin? Meaning, have we been involved in crash retrievals? If yes, were there non-human entities associated with these craft? If yes, were there non-human entities recovered alive? And this is where I wish Rick Doty was with us today, because he could talk to us on some of this stuff. Response. What's Lou saying on this one? Yes. I am aware of several incidents where the U.S. military and certain defense contract companies recovered craft/vehicles of non-human origin. In some cases, biological specimens were recovered from such crashes. Don't you just wish we would get beyond just talking about and saying biological specimens? Specimens is kind of like taking a section of tissue. It'd be nice if we can get beyond it and give us some real language here to chew on. But either way, another yes. Let's see where this goes next. Now, B, with regards to B, were non-human entities recovered alive? I am unaware, however, if any of these specimens were alive at the time of recovery. Furthermore, I am unaware if these biological specimens were complete specimens or partial due to the nature of the crashes, meaning we may have had something that came and impacted on the Earth, blew apart into a whole bunch of pieces along with the potential entities that may have been in it. So, this continues on. Several key scientists associated with OSAP and ATIP were part of a conversation sponsored by the White House in approximately 2004. Hey Google, who was president in 2004?
George W. Bush is an American.
Oh God. Okay. G.W. Bush. Box of rocks up there. Okay. In approximately 2004, to determine if the U.S. public was prepared for the acknowledgement of UAP by the U.S. government. After approximately 1 week of deliberations, the decision was made that the U.S. government should not disclose any UAP-related information to the public. Oh, I think I've got a sound effect on that one. Yeah, booze. Boo and boo. Corporal Abe, you have your hand up on that one.
Yeah, Thomas, I was going to say, should we do a poll? Were they alive? Weren't they alive? I was kind of questioning that myself, and I don't know where I stand on it.
All right, let's go ahead and do this. Let me go ahead and pop this up, and I'm going to start a poll. Okay. Question is, was the NHI/it the NHI Okay, so the question is, was the NHI alive / surviving a UFO crash? Yes or no? Hey, Google, set a timer for 1 minute and 30 seconds.
1 minute. Starting now.
All right, audience, this is your chance. You've got 1 minute and 25 to go ahead and make a vote. Let's find out where audience is going to take this. Let me get back to here. Get back to not do that. Let me go ahead and get the sound effects. All right, audience, you got 1 minute and 14 seconds to go ahead and vote. Abe, how would you vote on this one?
I honestly went with they were alive. You know, I feel like somebody survived, just like sometimes humans survive plane crashes. If aliens have advanced technology, I feel like they survived. Somebody survived. One of them, at least.
Absolutely. Ed, what do you think? Were they alive or not?
I definitely believe they were alive, and because I've talked to 2 people that have seen them alive.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. Very interesting. We'll have to talk about that one. Laura Campbell, what say you?
I just wrote in the comment, according to some other remote viewers, some were captured alive while others were not.
There you go. Pretty good with only 25 seconds left to go. Honestly, I would also vote yes. Was the NHI alive, surviving a UFO crash? You know, from all the things that have been said that we've heard throughout our friends here and in history, it does sound like some of those entities may have survived. Now, can't say what humans did to them to keep. Did they unalive them? Maybe. You never know what happened, and who knows what shape they're potentially in. At this point, I want to go ahead. Okay, Google, stop. I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot of this for posterity. Let's go ahead and do this. And on that note, I am going to go ahead and end that poll. Stop the sound effects next. Let's do that. And the final stats for our poll, our audience has spoken. 82% of our audience is saying yes. Was the NHI alive, surviving a UFO crash? Yes, absolutely yes. Only 18% of our audience is saying no. Laura, are you surprised?
Nothing surprises me anymore, Thomas.
Yeah, when you can see the stuff we've seen, there is nothing left for surprise anymore, is it? What's the old saying from remote viewers? The more they try to hide it, the more it shines, the more it glows.
Exactly. The brighter it is.
Exactly. All right, we've got that taken care of. Thank you, Abe, for asking that question. All right, let me move.
No problem, Thomas.
All right, let me just bring this down a little bit, get this off to the side, do a little bit of housekeeping here, and keep this thing going. Turn that down a little bit in size. All right, let's get to our next question. All right. Question 5, sorry. Is it possible UAPs are extra-dimensional rather than extraterrestrial? What I mean by that is it possible that UAPs might not fit in the traditional narrative of aliens from another planet, but it could instead be entities from other dimensions? A really good one. And what is Lou going to say on this one? Yes. Response, yes. Several scientists within ATIP propose that UAP might have interdimensional or even cryptozoological origins, leveraging cutting-edge knowledge of quantum physics and human consciousness. Some scientists suggest that non-human intelligence is potentially responsible for operating certain UAP. And I just want to point out on this one, Abe, he is saying certain UAP, not all UAP, which means we could have a smorgasbord out there.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I put myself in the category of people who think that there's multiple different species and multiple different crafts. So I completely agree with what you're saying.
Absolutely.
I've seen in the Navy in my time, I've seen different shapes in the sky that I didn't understand, both night and day. So,
and if you noticed, Abe, the UFOs we see on the West Coast are different than the ones we see on the East Coast.
Thomas, I honestly think there's a smorgasbord. I've talked to some West Coast sailors, and they didn't get a chance to serve on the East Coast. And some of the things that I described to them are similar to some of the things that I've seen, but then some of the things that they've said to me is things that I've never heard of. So, again, I think there's a smorgasbord. What I can specifically say, the 2004 David Fravor incident, that was a global incident. Like, it was fleet-wide, and the entire Navy was seeing the same thing all over the planet.
Yeah.
But, again, I've seen different things throughout my career, my time in the Navy, so.
Yeah, and I'm just bringing that up because potentially we could have one species who's territorial on the West Coast in the Pacific, and we have a different species who's on the East Coast of the United States. Basically, not just saying the ship's designs is potentially utilitarian in nature, but some ships may be designated to one type of entity or the other.
Iman Shed and Richard Dolan have both repeated that same thing multiple times, and I completely agree with that. You know, I hear a lot of people out there saying that the UFOs can be friendly and they're about consciousness, but I think if there's multiple species, we just don't have a full grasp on what all of their intentions are. We could be dealing with the Borg, we could be dealing with the Romulans, we could be dealing with the Klingon. We need to figure it out and get answers, and that's why I'm hoping that Congresswoman Luna pushes for this in the hearing sooner than later, because if there is a threat, I think it needs to be addressed fast, which I feel like there is a threat.
You know, if there was a threat, man, they've had thousands of years to go ahead and act on it. So we can go ahead and go towards that threat narrative, we understand. But unless they're getting ready to go in here and come at our throats at this point, we'll have to see where it's going to go. Nick, you have your hand up, my friend?
Yes, a speculation is that some of these aliens come from a star system called Zeta Reticuli, which
and that
was insane for years.
Yep, and Zeta Reticuli is only visible from, I believe, the southern hemisphere. More importantly, you also have another constellation, I believe, where the Dogon said their, if you want to call it sky gods, came from, and that actually is, oh God, where is that at? Well, I believe it's somewhere
Orion?
Orion, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, Orion, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, there's potential. If there's one, at least one, that means there's probably more than just one. So Ed Brown, you have your hand up, my friend.
Well, there's also Alpha Centauri. That's another one that's talked about quite a bit. But what I was going to talk about is the area that you have not yet read, and that is the underwater possibility or in cave possibility. There is a chance that they could be here on Earth with us, simply hidden, not in another dimension, but simply hidden right here in the or in the hills.
Well, first of all, if they're here on the planet with us today, which highly likely they are, they're going to go in places that freaking skinless monkeys who like to throw missiles at each other, hairless monkeys like to throw missiles at each other and blow things up, can't get to, so they're safe.
Well, and an explanation for that, we haven't talked about this, but it adds some credibility to it. In the back room, we were talking earlier about some of these issues, and the connection is that these people could have been here from a catastrophe that hit, say a comet or an asteroid hit, and they all went underground to protect themselves, and they were the only surviving people. That
maybe
could have occurred 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 years
100,000, 200,000, a million years ago. We don't know. It could have been an advanced civilization that was around for a period of time. And they realized, wow, everything on the surface gets wiped out every so often. We need to go create some place where it's safe. And where's the safest place you can go? Under the bedrock, under the oceans, because there's so much pressure pushing down on it that there's not going to be a lot of uplift and shaking and things getting ripped apart. More importantly, the water's not going to come and wash everything over. You know, modern civilization, no matter how much we like what we build, you know, we're basically the three little pigs, the ones who like to make house out of hay or make houses out of sticks.
Yeah, absolutely. And that would explain the time differences we're talking about. So, you know, we'll just have to wait and see. But now let's put all those together. So you've either got underwater, under the mountains, extraterrestrial, time travelers. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities in there.
Yeah, I guess they call them crypto-terrestrials. Potentially, I like calling them ancient terrestrials, for that matter. Ancient aliens, you know what I mean? They've been, and they may have came here a long time ago, and it could be an ancient human civilization, or it could be a civilization that came here a long time ago. Again, trying to get someplace safe. Freezerman71, your hand is up, my friend.
Thomas, this may sound bizarre, but it is a possibility that Earth is not the only place where humans are. And who's to say that some of, like, because I'm wondering about, like, the Atlantis. I've heard the theory that the Atlanteans possibly left the planet. Is that even possible? And that some of these NHI could be from humans who have been here and have left and are coming back to check out their old home.
There's an endless amount of books and possibilities, my friend. So yeah, that could be a possibility. You never know. But thanks for bringing it up. I appreciate that. All right, let's continue on. So, get to the start of the sentence again. Leveraging cutting-edge knowledge of quantum physics and human consciousness, some scientists suggest a non-human intelligence, potentially responsible for operating certain UAP, might be as integral to our environment as other natural phenomenon. However, we currently lack the tools to observe or measure them using conventional scientific methods. Another hypothesis put forward by ATIP suggests that UAP may originate from the depths of our oceans. There you go, folks. There is a well-documented correlation between large bodies of water and UAP activity. Well, come on, we've had so many UFOs seen coming into and out of the oceans, or even the Great Lakes for that matter, which could explain why the U.S. Navy has reported more incidents than other services. And don't forget, when we had the initial UAP task force, who did they report to? They sure as hell didn't report to the Air Force. They reported to the Navy. And you got to wonder, why would the Navy be going and investigating UFOs, Abe?
Yeah, I'm just going to say the Navy's been dealing with it for a long time. I know I may be a little biased here, but the Navy, in my opinion, it has been the first to deal with it. 70% of the planet is water, is ocean, and we've only explored 10% of that ocean. We can only make it to about 10% of that depth. So, yeah, it's the Navy's responsibility. Go Navy.
We have greater imaging of the surface of the moon and the surface of Mars than we actually have of the bottoms of our oceans. Granted, there is a program in that's running right now called, I think it's called Seabed 2030, that by the year 2030, they want to have a full high-resolution map of the entire ocean floor. When we get it, I bet you it's going to be censored. What do you think, Abe?
You know, I've seen you in the past bring up like some like ocean maps of like, I don't know what kind of tubes to call these tubes out off the California coast, but I doubt this Seabed 2030 thing is going to be able to map what's inside these tubes. So the mystery, in my opinion, is going to continue. And, you know, there's really deep holes off the coast of Puerto Rico and some other places around the world. I just really feel like this mystery is going to go on for quite a long time. Yes, we can map it by 2030, but are we going to be able to get to the bottom of those tunnels?
Yeah.
I don't think
and
so.
I hate to say it, wrong with you, but hopefully Anna Polina Luna can give us a booster shot of truth on UFOs.
Hope so too. I really do, because right now we're still at like the best we got is the information we can get from Independence Day movies. You know, like we're all guessing here right now. Star Trek is like our best Encyclopedia Britannica on.
Yeah, that's true, my friend. That is so true. Let's move along here. Notably, as of June 2024, let's get into here. The National. Oh, you came back. There we go. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, also known as NOAA, reported that only 26.1% of the global sea floor has been mapped with modern high-resolution technology. That just kind of covers what we were just saying a second ago. Question number 6. Are you aware of the recent claim made by journalist Christopher Sharp from the Liberation Times regarding Bigelow Aerospace, Lockheed Martin, and the CIA allegedly blocking the transfer of materials of advanced non-human origin? Response from LUE: yes. The CIA opposed the transfer of materials of advanced non-human origin from Lockheed Martin to Bigelow Aerospace. Now, if I can, I need to find this, and I'm going to go back to my X account really quick, and I'm in my bookmarks. Oh, forget about that one. I've got that here. I know I'm going to jump around on this one. All right, here we go. I want to do that. So this is a document. I want to make it larger. There we go. I'll do it this way. Okay, to talk about what we're talking about in a little bit more detail. What do we have going on here? Let's bring it up. Okay, so is this the one? Bigelow Aerospace. So this is one of the talking points with regards to Senator Harry Reid on November 17th, 2009. The DIA learned of counterintelligence concerns with Bigelow Aerospace, the parent company of Bigelow Aerospace Advanced Space Studies. These concerns do not appear to be directly related to OSAP, coming from the Undersecretary of Defense. Memorandum for the Secretary of Defense. Subject: Senator Harry Reid's request to put the Advanced Aerospace Threat and Identification Program under Special Access Protection. Here's the ruling. Based on the recommendation from the DIA and my staff's review of the technical reports, I recommend establishing a special access program at this time, coming from James Clapper. So there's the documents right there where James Clapper is shutting down the opportunity to go ahead and have those materials get into Bigelow. What they were concerned about from a security standpoint, Abe, I think it could just be a good old boys cover up, because they didn't want the potentiality of what they've been spending our hard-earned taxpayers' dollars on for their secret programs.
Yeah, I circle the drain on the cover-ups. I think a lot of things are cover-ups these days. And I'm really hoping this new task force isn't a cover-up or something else. You know, I really, really am putting a lot of my hopes and beliefs on that this task force would produce something.
Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. Let me go ahead and check one thing. Up here, over here. All right, good. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you for the text message. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Next one. Question. Can you confirm or deny the attempt to transfer non-human technology to Bigelow Aerospace during your time at ATIP? Yes, I can confirm that specific facilities were identified to enable Bigelow Aerospace to acquire and securely store UAP materials as a new custodian following their transfer from Lockheed Martin. These facilities included locations in the Las Vegas area and a newly built hangar at Patuxent River Naval Air Station. Specifically, the PAX River hangar was designed to facilitate the transfer of future materials via air and river. The hangar was purpose-built to meet the requirements of a special access program facility and was capable of accommodating materials at any classification level. I was informed that funding for the hangar, approximately $10 million, was allocated at the request of then Representative Steny Hoyer. I have visited the facility, however, as it was new construction at the time, no materials had yet been transferred. Now, to go ahead and talk a little bit more about the facility in Las Vegas, underneath their facility in Vegas, they had went and full laboratories were created, but they also created in a manner, and here's the kicker, Abe, they created it that it was an environment that lacked atmosphere. So if you hear about them creating a facility that lacks atmosphere, meaning anything that's breathing, anything that they'd want to be able to put in this thing, if it needed to breathe, it's not going to get out. So imagine they have a big facility, right, that has a lack of an atmosphere. But inside of that facility, they have an area that has an atmosphere, right? That would give them the opportunity to put something on that inner sanctum of that area that has an atmosphere, and that whatever is in there, if it tries to break out from there, it's going to die because there's no Earth atmosphere within it. Or they potentially had it having a non-Earth atmosphere because they wanted to go ahead and keep something else alive in an atmosphere that it required. What are your thoughts?
I've heard of Pax River. I was never stationed there, and I'll say that everything that I heard was always like sensitive or secret or something like that.
Right.
I never got too deep into what goes on in that Pax River, but I know people that have been stationed there, and they don't really talk about it. But moving on from that, the whole environmentalist atmosphere thing, that's very interesting. And what are they trying to simulate, an underwater environment or an outer space environment? And if you're going to worry about the threats that are in the media, like Russia, China, Iran, Ukraine conflict, whatever else humans are developing, we only fight on Earth's atmosphere currently. So
right.
Whatever the issue is out of these atmospheres that they're trying to simulate is not something you want to see this corporal involved in a conflict.
Oh, same here, my friend. But for me, it sounds like they created this facility that lacked the Earth atmosphere as a way to keep something in there from escaping. At least that's where my mind takes it.
I can agree with you there, or I can agree it's a training facility for some type of future concept. That's all I see, those two possibilities. Yeah. I don't see anything else. They're testing something.
And it's not like they created a facility with zero gravity. It was just something that lacked an atmosphere, which is really strange.
But how easy is that to simulate, and then how much money does that cost?
Yeah. I hear you, my friend. I hear you completely. Let me go ahead and continue on. Let's get to it. All right, next question. Going to LUE Elizondo here. If you joined us late, we're going over the questions and answers that LUE Elizondo was posed by Representative Eric Burleson at the end of after last year's hearing in the House of Representatives. We've been going through these one at a time. We're on number 8 now. Let's go ahead and continue. Question number 8. How was it determined that Lockheed Martin had such non-human technology to begin with? If so, was it confirmed by Lockheed Martin? LUE's response is clear. I am unable to answer this question due to a lack of direct knowledge. Now, LUE could say, this is what I've been told, this is what I've heard, but instead he's saying, I don't have direct knowledge of it, meaning I haven't seen the paperwork, I haven't seen the stuff that goes along with it. So this is him just staying within his lane at this point. Let's move along. Question 9. Were you aware of any efforts by the CIA to block the transfer of UAP-related materials or information during your tenure at ATIP? Now, response, yes. And similar obstructionist efforts were also made by the U.S. Air Force. there seemed to be a passive resistance from certain elements within the Central Intelligence Agency in a more active campaign by specific factions within the U.S. Air Force to suppress inquiries and investigations into the UFO topic or UAP topic. Now, here's the interesting thing. We have a new head of the CIA, who was the former director of national intelligence under President Trump, John Ratcliffe. He talked about things that he had seen, that he was aware of as a director of national intelligence. More importantly, a disclosure program they wanted to move forward, but they ran out of time at the end of the last Trump administration to bring out the truth. If there is information that James Ratcliffe can come forward with and find at the CIA, he already has a letter from Representative Anna Polina Luna to bring that information forward. Now, I don't personally think that James Ratcliffe is going to want to delay or hold this back, because he seemed one of the forces who are part of the administration in the past to bring it forward. Let's just give him some time. I can't wait to see where this is going to go. Any thoughts from your side, David or Abe?
I'm sorry, and I want to apologize. I saw some people in the chat were saying there's a lot of background noise.
Don't worry about it.
Common area. Okay. Yeah.
Ashley, your hand is up. Good save.
I'm doing a piece right now on DARPA and some of the contracts that they have with different people. Right now, I have a couple different companies that I can tell you about for sure. Booz Allen Hamilton, Strategic Analysis Incorporated, ECS Federal LLC, Advanced Concepts and Technologies International LLC, Gentech Associates Incorporated.
Cool. Tell you what, let's regroup after the show and we'll dig into those.
Sure.
Thank you very much. All right. Here is our next question, folks. Do you believe the CIA or other government agencies are actively working to conceal UAP-related information from the public? Lou's response, of course, is yes. Many of my former colleagues and I have faced retaliation for our public advocacy for UAP transparency. This included efforts to suspend or revoke our security clearances, as well as direct threats to our safety and that of our families. Some elements within the DoD and the intelligence community have engaged in what can only be described as administrative terrorism, Susan Goff, to deter individuals with security clearances from raising the issue. Again, this was under the Biden administration. Most recently, the Biden administration is not a friend of disclosure. If anything, they shut it down probably because they were afraid. It's been said they were afraid to tell the president at that time what was going on. It's just it was a sad situation. And I think we are, not just entering the golden age of America, but we're entering the golden age of disclosure. Now, other forms of retaliation include harassment, surveillance, adverse bureaucratic actions, unauthorized data leaks, criminal investigations, and even death threats. Additionally, efforts to discredit whistleblowers and spread disinformation to the public and Congress by certain Pentagon public affairs officials, Susan Goff, have persisted for at least 7 years, if not longer. I want to welcome Mike Disclosure to the show. How's it going, Mike?
Oh, it's going. Interesting so far. Better late than never.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of interesting questions that was posed to Lou, it seems like.
Oh, yeah. And I've never seen a more direct target put on the back of Susan Goff than right here. Granted, he's not saying her name, but it pretty much points right to her, doesn't it?
Considering that was his sole role, was a public affairs officer, yeah, he's definitely calling her out.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
But then again, listen, we know there's no love lost between those two for a long time now.
Can't wait to see her escorted to the door.
Oh, yeah, it seems like that's coming.
Oh,
That'll
yeah.
be interesting.
Yeah. She's been
Not bad.
downsized, which is going to be hard for her, but.
Well, exactly. But didn't she, she did a cookbook, didn't she? So we know she likes to eat.
Well, that person who I thought that actually had all the yummy things up to eat in the past, I thought that was actually Susan Goff, but I was actually wrong. That wasn't her. That person was too good looking to be Susan Goff.
You know, that's a dead giveaway. It's a good tell.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. I got one here.
Oh, please don't.
Oh, yeah. She's got to be someone's Valentine.
I have no idea who. Maybe the devil.
Yep. Now, wait a second. I'm getting a video call in. Where's that at? Mike, should we answer? She's waiting.
Yes, please.
No.
God.
If you had any good times on Valentine's Day, it's done now.
Oh, she's an erection killer. So that'll finish anything for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Nancy Cusimano, Thomas Fessler, Mike Disclosure. Let's talk to Lou again. We talked to Lou, Nancy.
And Lou's been around everywhere. There isn't a lot of new stuff coming out of Lou these days.
No, there really isn't. He doesn't even talk about the book anymore.
Really?
Yeah, that doesn't come up. Pretty quiet. No mention of the book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Which is interesting. Yeah, well, I know.
Who has their hand up in the back? Let me take a look. Megan Bailey, you have your hand up.
Hi.
Hey, Megan.
I'm very excited to be here. I'm a big fan of yours since, I guess it was October, November when all the drones were, on the East Coast. I live in Virginia, so I've seen a lot.
Thank you, Megan. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. The thing that I wanted to bring up, I did comment it in the back, is so my dad actually works for a company that I cannot say what it is, but it is involved with Lockheed Martin. And there's some things that he has told me that basically the things that are being released right now are on purpose. Like there's certain things that are being given out, like bits of information to kind of bring us closer to something, but he won't tell me what, because obviously he can't. So when I see all these things coming out of, LUE, who I'm a fan of, by the way, it just really makes me wonder if the things that he's disclosing or saying is all being kind of almost controlled. What are y'all's opinions on that?
Mike, what do you think?
That's a good question.
It's a tough one, too.
It is, because depending on the perspective, to answer that accurately, with Lou, number one, he's always bound by his NDA. There's no escaping that. He's very vocal about that. And as far as, was your question, is this a controlled disclosure with the information that Lou talks about?
I don't really feel that it's him. I feel like the things that he is being allowed to disclose, like that is kind of controlled disclosure, but not from him, from the people that are allowing him to say certain things. What are your opinions?
I could tell you that Thomas and I covered this pretty extensively with the previous administration. And a lot of people out there believe the same thing that you do, that there's some sort of controlled disclosure coming from the government. The answer then was that I spoke to people very high up in the intelligence community and within DOD, Pentagon. There was no official plan for any type of controlled disclosure at that point. None. Even though people believe there actually was, because they heard other public figures making public statements that there was a form of controlled disclosure coming directly from the government. I confirmed directly with members of the government who are active, there was and is no controlled plan for disclosure at that time. Now that we have the new administration in with the new cabinet members, that's a different story, because we know they are pro-disclosure. I don't think it's going to be controlled. I think whatever information that they find out about, they're going to release publicly. And that's, I believe that whatever they find, they're going to bring out publicly. And if they do that, then it's not a question of control. It's a question of now we know what they've been hiding this whole time. And I've heard rumors in the Pentagon that if there is going to be the first stage of disclosure to come out publicly because of President Trump and his agenda, it's going to be limited to the point of solely admitting that we are not alone on this earth and there are advanced civilization here with us. And that's it initially. So we'll get that much, but
that's where they said the initial goal was, Mike, but I've got a slight inkling that they're going to go farther than that, much farther than that.
Well, I think it would depend on what they uncover that President Trump is going to want to make public. So you're right. They may find the things that we already know are out there. And if he decides to bring that out publicly, he needs to be made aware that there's a shitstorm that's going to come from that kind of a release of information.
Thank you,
not
guys.
just in here. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for the question.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Ed, do you have your hand up in response to this?
Well, it seems to me that the disclosure has occurred in the responses that LUE has provided back to the committee, because he's still basically under oath, and he has outright told us that there are exotic craft and non-human specimens that are in fact here. So is that not disclosure?
It's the start of disclosure, Ed. Have we gotten full unconditional disclosure? No. But has disclosure started in the slow drip? Yes. We're going to need to sway the court of public opinion.
Right.
We're going to need to have really good evidence that goes beyond testimony and character witnesses to sway the masses to believe something is going on.
And I think what Mike is saying is true. The way I envision it is it's almost like you've got a leaky water pipe and you're trying to put your thumb on it to keep the water from coming out. And it just keeps squirting out and squirting out. And you have to keep admitting that stuff's been released and find a way to justify it or to explain it.
Good way to put it.
Yeah, that's very interesting, Ed. I think from what I hear that they want to confirm the reality that we're not alone on this planet. But as far as any deep explanations, I don't think they're prepared to do that. And I don't even think they're fully aware. I have a feeling that people that have been investigating this as long as Thomas and I have probably have more information at the time than they do currently. But I think that the more that they uncover, like what Elon's been doing with Doge so far, he's been really uncovering a lot of stuff that's been basically beyond public purview for decades.
Right. Now,
including
supposedly
the Treasury Department, that they have people that can only retire up to $1,000 per month because they're using an elevator system from the 1950s. They never updated it to go up and down to do the analog paperwork, the files, the actual documents. Who would have imagined in the 21st century that it hasn't been changed since the 1950s? I didn't know that.
Well, no. And here's the thing, Mike, there was already some communication coming out of the DOE that they're concerned that members of Doge who are coming in don't have the necessary security clearances to deal with all the compartmentalized sensitive information that's within the Department of Energy. Remember, that's the place where all the deep UFO secrets are probably kept, because it's not like you can go to the DOD or different areas and get it declassified. If you want to declassify anything from the Department of Energy, you need to have the president, the head of the CIA, and the head of the DOE all in agreement and put their signatures on there to go ahead and release such information. So the DOE is the place where the deep secrets are kept, especially about the energy systems. Because do you think they would take that research and give it to a defense contractor? No, because where do we develop all of our power systems, all of our anything with nuclear, anything with fusion?
Laboratories nationwide.
Yeah.
So they keep it very close to home under DOE.
Yeah, they do.
It's not leaking out anywhere else. Oh, they've been doing it since 1947.
Was it 52, I thought, or 54?
When the Atomic Energy Commission? Yep. Yeah, but before that it was called something else.
Yeah.
They helped develop the atomic bomb, so no, they've been around a long time.
So I have go ahead. Yeah, I have two super chats I want to address here really quick. One from Tim Jackson saying, if the UFO are using anti-gravity, would the beings inside be safe? Because the way I've seen them move, I believe they would be, yes. If you want to take the craft moving around like a tic-tac, where it's going back and forth at 14,000 miles an hour, and it comes to a stop. Anything in that craft, if there wasn't a gravitational warp field around that craft, would be a pancake of fluids on the inside of the craft. So figure you've got that gravitational warp field that goes around the craft. Everything that's inside that craft is stationary. Anything on the outside of the craft, on the outside of the gravitational warp field, is basically moving not in our atmosphere, but carving its way through it. So if a craft was moving really fast and somehow they lost their gravitational warp field and they came under the control of gravity, then yes, everybody inside would be pancaked and killed because they would then be subjected to the forces of our planet, right, Mike?
Yeah, they would turn to soup instantly. But there's another aspect to this, Thomas. Inside the craft, time is moving a lot different than it is on the outside.
Right. It could be moving slower or faster depending on what's going on. That's a time dimension difference, but there's also a space dimension difference. Call the Doctor Who TARDIS, where you have something small on the outside, but you get inside, it's like the size of a football stadium.
Right. So they could be moving on the inside a lot slower than the way we're viewing them on the outside, which means they wouldn't have the same effects.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's interesting.
Next question coming in from Mr. Grimlock. Area 51 earthquake. Any thoughts? I would probably say it's not from aliens or alien craft. It's probably we either blew something up or it's an earthquake.
Right.
There is a lot of activity coming out of the sun right now, folks, and there's a lot of stuff happening because of it, and because our magnetic field around the planet is weakening, there's a lot more stuff going on that we usually wouldn't see.
Yeah, we're going to be more aware of it because of this activity.
Oh, gosh, yes. Absolutely. Now, we do have a slew of hands up in the back. We got one question left, but you know what? Let's see where the questions go, and then we'll finish off this document from LUE. Let's go to Corporal Abe first. Abe?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on the points that Mike and Ed made, because they're really good points. Mike was talking about the administration and how they're probably likely not to bring out that much information. And then Ed mentioned the plumber and the leaky pipe analogy, and I thought that was really great. Earlier today, News Nation had a piece out that spoke about veterans from Area 51 not receiving any pensions or benefits because the DOD won't acknowledge their injuries that they received on there, and they've got like radiological problems, cancers of different kinds of cancers. Exactly, Mike. Exactly. And happy Valentine's Day, bro, you and yours. But yeah, you're right. That was out today on News Nation, and I thought that was significant. Now, Mike sitting here saying, I don't think the administration really can, and then I agree with Mike and I agree with Ed because it's a leaky pipe, and they're just kicking that can down the road to the next mechanic, and that's what's going to keep happening. Either because there's such a great threat or a problem that they're overwhelmed and they don't have any answers to deal with it. So I think it's a double-edged sword in a shitty situation.
That's a good point, eh? It is a shitty situation. I'll give you that.
Yeah. They've been covering it up for the longest time. They just don't know how to go ahead and bring out the truth. Now, here's the thing. Lou Elizondo has said before. He heard the reasons why they went, and he kind of agreed with it, why a long time ago, why we kept everything secret. But he thinks time has changed, and there's no reason not to bring out the truth at this point. I think that's kind of what he said, transposing it, right, Mike?
Yeah, well, we know he likes to drop breadcrumbs along the way.
Yeah.
But he will neither confirm nor deny publicly any specific point.
Yeah.
That's just standard operating procedure for him.
And when he talked about this before, he didn't say it's something exciting. It's something that's somber.
Right. Yeah. And he gave a lot more information and details back then than he has now.
That is true. But we are seeing a bunch of more coming out of these questions that he hasn't said recently as well. Let's move on. We've got Syrup, Tia, and Laura have their hands up. Syrup?
Yeah, I was wondering, because you guys were kind of talking about it a second ago. I was wondering if you guys had seen that apparently Anna Luna wants to set up a congressional delegation. I'm not sure what that is, but she wants to set up a congressional delegation with another country that already has a program for disclosure. I guess that's been set up already.
Yeah, I think we talked about that on our last show on, I believe, on Tuesday. Yeah, she's interested in talking with another country who supposedly has a framework in play for disclosure. And it'll be interesting to see which country, if it is one in the Middle East, who has that kind of a thing set up already.
I was going to ask you, do you have any idea what country that could be?
Yes, but I'm not going to say. I can't.
Fair enough.
Professional courtesies when someone gives you access to this stuff and they talk about saying, don't repeat it. You don't go back on your promises, right, Mike?
No, that's right. You'll
talk about it vaguely about it, but I'm not going to give and go drop the actual answer because it's not my, God, I'm sounding like Lou. It's not my place to go ahead and announce which country this is. They have to do it themselves.
Right.
Granted, they were taking a spare no expense approach to it, probably because they have a lot of money, but why not? If you got it, use it.
I had another question too, Thomas. You want me to put my hand back up?
Yeah, go for it. What the hell?
Go ahead. It's Friday.
All right. I appreciate it.
Hey, any of you out there, your day didn't go well, or if your kids are going to be on vacation for the next 2 weeks along with your wife, it's Fuck You Friday.
Oh, it is. It is. So go ahead.
So I read that Anna was basically, she said she doesn't need whistleblowers. She wants evidence. What do you make of that?
Oh, my God. That's the first thing that she said, that we have been waiting for somebody that's an elected official that's looking to push this out to the public openly. That's the right answer. Of course. We've been saying that nonstop here on the show. We don't want to hear stories anymore. We don't want people coming forward and saying, I heard this, I know that. No, we want the goddamn evidence.
So it's like those 40 people that Grushy had, and he could tell you where to go ahead and find the bodies and the craft. That's the kind of evidence she wants to have, right, Mike?
Well, Grush made it clear at the first UAP public hearing that he can give you the exact street address and location of where they're housing the bodies and the materials on the craft. So that's what she wants.
Yeah.
And then go get federal marshals and a court order and go kick the fucking doors in.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we want. And now we hear somebody in Washington saying the same thing. That's a good news to my ears.
Yeah.
So that's what we want. Good for her.
Yeah. And I have a feeling they won't be bringing an egg carton or a copy of Green Eggs and Ham.
Exactly.
Tia, you have your hand up, my lady?
I wanted to say that I was Lou's answers. I'm really proud of him, actually. I think as far as Lou is concerned, people can stop asking him about disclosure on his part, because as far as he's concerned, he has given it. So it's up to us as individuals to now take that and do what you're going to do with it. I mean, he's done it. He said it. I don't think that there's anything else that he can say to any individual that's going to change their mind, whether they believe him or they don't. But I'm very, very proud of what I heard tonight.
Oh, gosh, yes, absolutely. I want to see if I can find this, because I want to address this since you're bringing this up and everything about everything Lou Elizondo. I want to go ahead and we can talk a little bit more. We talked about this the other day. But Lou Elizondo put up an interesting tweet on February 9th, about 5 days ago at this point. Let me bring this one up here. Video solo. So Lou Elizondo put out this tweet on February 9th. A good one, a very interesting one that says, ordnance inbound, meaning missiles have been launched and they're on their way. And I believe, Lou, we kind of hinted at this the other day, but he had said this in his interview over on Disclosure Team's YouTube channel. And he said, Vinny Adams, Disclosure Team, he had said this is for his personal and professional life, right?
Yeah. But he told you and I that privately before the show aired.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, he made that point. So it's a hell of a tweet.
Yes,
that
it
he
is.
Put out there publicly. Yeah.
So personal and professional.
Right.
So is he meaning like shots fired, bang bang?
No, I think he means that, he's been launched and he's on his way to DC. I think we have to get
That's
Mr. Lou goes to Washington.
Yeah. Like he's, that's it. Now it's your go, like he launched, he shot, and now it's up to you.
Not even that. He's just saying it's basically if he's the missiles being launched, he's on his way to DC. So let's see if he's going to get announced in the short-term future as a UAP/UAS czar that's part of the executive branch, and he's there to go ahead and guide the president in a way maybe like Elon Musk, probably not as much, but someone to help him make the right decisions on bringing the truth forward on disclosure, because President Trump said many times during his running for office that he would, I need to go ahead and declassify that. That's a great thing to bring forward. And if he said he's going to do it, I have a good feeling that he's going to do it.
I have a good feeling too. And I would ask you this question, not that you know everything, but I'm going to ask. So there are some people in the community that believe that Greer has been going in and he's talking to the president and all that. Personally, I think it's a bunch of bullshit. I think that if somebody's going to be there, it's going to be somebody like Lou or Tim, somebody that has clearances and been in this life for a long time.
If you're mentioning Greer, I hear something coming from the ether.
Oh! A bullshit artist.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, my dearly.
Wait. Now, that being said, okay, I know that there have been private meetings with staff of the President Trump's with the likes of Michael Herrera, of all people. And there are photographs that were taken of this meeting with Herrera and staff members for President Trump. I don't know how serious they're taking this. It could have just been a meeting just to hear what had to have been said. I hope that they're not going to be moving forward on anything like that. And if Lou is got a new job now,
it would shut all that shit down.
Oh, real quick.
Because you know what? I poured a double. I didn't pour it straight. And if we're talking about bringing Herrera in, I might also just be drinking this vodka straight, Mike.
Just stick a straw in the top of the bottle. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Hey, but at least now we get real straws again.
Yes.
Not those paper things. My goodness.
No.
Make straws great again.
Yep, that's right.
But actually, before the whole Strawgate happened, I actually bought a huge case of like 10,000 straws from the Costco Business Center. We've barely dented them. So even if they wanted to take them off the market, I'm set.
Did it ever shock you guys that they give you these paper straws in a large plastic cup? Did that ever shock anybody? I'm like, come on.
Or plastic plates and forks and all that stuff.
So weird.
It's ridiculous.
I know. And here's the thing, you get like so many more particles of microplastics come into your body, which are poison to the body, accumulates in the brain and all in the testes, everywhere in the body. You're getting all of this stuff getting there. It's nasty. Laura Campbell.
Yeah, and taking straws away isn't going to change that.
Absolutely. Laura Campbell, your hand is up.
Yeah, I was just wondering, Carl Nell had this sequence of we're going to be doing this next, and I believe this step we're going to be entering is going to be educating the universities and that group, which I think is going to be a tough nut to crack. I'm just curious if you have any thoughts about what they're going to be doing exactly, how they're going to be coming, bringing in the scientists to this and the people in the universities who seem to, if you talk to many of them, they have their minds made up that there's nothing to it. So it's not real.
Well,
so it can't be
here's
real.
the thing. I don't think Carl Nell's plan coincided with Trump winning office and having Trump's approach to disclosure. If anything, do you think Trump is going if he finds out this information about the deep state going back to 47, turning us into a national security state from the United States of America, from the United States of America to the national security state of America, do you think Trump is going to, pussyfoot around this, or do you think he's going to go for a jam, let's do a catastrophic disclosure and screw with everyone's minds and show them how much of a cover-up and how bullshit the bureaucratic / deep state is in our country, Mike?
Anything he can get his hands on to stick it to the Democrats after what they did to him, this is retribution for him. This is revenge. That's really what his agenda is. That's all he cares about.
But it's not just revenge for him. This is revenge for the whole country for all these years and all the shit that they've put down our throat, whether we like it or not.
It is, but here's the thing. The whole country wasn't convicted in a court of law of 47 felonies. He was. So
but he was never sentenced and all that stuff. That's okay. They hate, that was a railroad case that came out of the prosecutor. What's that beauty's name again, Mike?
Letitia James.
Letitia James, the same one who was just complaining that they, New York City got stuck with a bill of $80 million to go ahead and pay for these migrant hotels.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, listen, if he gets his hands on some good dirt that he can use to completely obliterate any of the Democrats, it's coming out. He's not going to hold back.
Oh, hell no. It'll be part of the daily Trump show broadcast that you can kind of see out there every day. He's going to get out his big pen. He's going to sign his name and talk about it. It's entertainment value, my friends.
It really is.
I've missed this for the last 4 years, honestly.
Right. And don't worry, we'll all enjoy the show. It's going to be a good one.
Oh, absolutely. Ashley, your hands up.
There's a conversation going on in the audience subscriber chat about Elon, whether or not he knows. And I think he does know, but I also think that he doesn't want to risk losing his SpaceX business or any of the technology he's been working on till this far. And also he doesn't want to risk losing his position at Doge. So until he gets the go ahead, I think he will pussyfoot around the issue.
Well, that's good. He should. And until you have the opportunity to bring out the truth. And here's the thing. The contracts he has for SpaceX, it's the best bang for the buck that the Department of Defense or NASA has ever gotten. Look at the great deal we got from the Boeing Starliner. That freaking tank that can't fly. And then we got the Artemis missions and stuff with all those horrible rockets that are using technology from the freaking space shuttle. With who is it? ULA, United Launch Alliance.
Oh yeah, I actually know one of the original scientists that worked on the Boeing, and he's like, but I didn't make the mistakes that they've been doing.
No, but you're associated with it. Don't put it on your resume.
Well, he's way fired now, so.
Oh yeah. Have you heard they're going to probably shut it down? They're not even going to do any more launches with their platform because it sucks so well.
Doesn't surprise me.
Oh yeah. Greg O'Brien, long time no see, my friend. Your hands up.
Hey, good evening, Thomas. So do you think there's kind of an arc to our situation to where we need to go broke to become rich again as far as the technology world's concerned? like wiping the slate clean, and more or less, like with this whole Elon is like technology. No more pushing shit out the ass. You know what I mean? We don't need to burn all this fuel. So you think like a decade or so, there'll be a whole new usher of new technology and development?
I'd love to see it. I love to see it more than Mark Kyle wearing a shirt.
Well, and I think we're gonna have to go through a whole lot of hurt to get to the other side. Like everything's gonna have to collapse in a sort of a way to rebuild.
I don't think it needs to collapse to rebuild. I think if there's an opportunity to go ahead and lower costs, what's the biggest thing that President Trump has been talking about? The way to go ahead and lower costs, it's to lower the cost of energy. And if we can lower the cost of energy across the board, why not do it?
I literally rode past the Department of Energy like 2 days ago, and it looked like it was so many buildings, but the parking lot was dead empty. It was scary. It was like a ghost town. It's really weird, man.
Yeah, work from home. It crippled the government.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. All right. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, my friend. Wow, we got everybody in the back, and we've got one question left from Lou Elizondo, Mike, to go through. You ready?
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Question number 11. Was any or all of the 22 million said to have gone to OSAP program earmarked for the alleged transfer of non-human technology from Lockheed Martin to Bigelow Aerospace? What is Lou's response? The $22 million of funded OSAP/ATIP was directed to a variety of programmatic needs, including commissioning academic studies on advanced physics concepts, funding civilian personnel and contractors, and conducting field research. As a result, 37 of these academic studies were published as a Defense Intelligence Agency Defense Intelligence Reference Document, known as the DIRDs. See Attachment 3 for a complete list of the DIRDs, which we've covered here on Disclosure Tonight many years ago. Now, in addition to my responses above, I strongly encourage the committee to obtain the U.S. government's current UAP security classification guide, which outlines the specific aspects of UAP and their levels of classification. Additionally, the committee should review the latest UAP collection requirements from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. And I think, don't we have a new Director of National Intelligence, Mike?
Yes, we do. I believe it's Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And someone in her opening remarks for getting approved for the office, she mentioned UAP as part of the cover-up that needs to get uncovered, as these may highlight critical gaps in our understanding of UAP relevant to these inquiries. Thank you for the opportunity to testify before this committee about this urgent matter. Please don't hesitate to contact me if I can provide additional information or be of any assistance. Very respectively, Luis D. Elizondo. How about that? That's one heck of a document.
It is. A lot of good answers. A lot of interesting questions. I like the questions they ask. Sometimes they just sit there like lame ducks and so they throw softballs. These were very good questions that they threw in.
And I actually get to feel like from Family Feud, I get to say survey says. I saw this little video, Mike. I've got a video of what light looks like refracting through broken glass. We talk about UFOs, all the colors we see up in the sky, right, when they're flying around.
Yeah, prism effect. Yep.
Oh, yeah, prism effect. Let's go ahead and bring this up and show with everybody. Here we go. Let's go ahead and play this little clip here. This one's kind of interesting to a nth degree. As light passes over it. Here we go. Now imagine we have a craft that's coming from another dimension, and we're getting all these fractions of light coming out because we have light passing through essentially as a prism.
Oh, yeah. Wow. What exactly are we looking at?
We're looking at the physics of light refraction through broken glass.
Holy shit. That's good.
Yeah. Very interesting to say the least, Mike.
No. It is, and I've never seen anything like that before. So,
Oh,
got my
absolutely.
attention.
Ashley, your hand is up.
I think this also demonstrates to us how light can refract and cast images onto our planet from other dimensions.
Mm-hmm. Great
you're
point.
right, Ashley.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know, I have another picture here, Mike. It's called Boss. It's the largest discovered structure in the universe so far. They're calling it a wall of galaxies at over 1 billion light years across. This one just looks really freaking cool. Let me go ahead and bring this one up here. Where is it? Add video guest. Here we go. Isn't that cool looking or what? Now, they want to go ahead and say it's dark matter that is pushing these things together. I'm going to say more than anything, it's probably gravity that's pulling these things together.
Yeah. Because, listen, at the center of every galaxy, we know there are supermassive black holes that exist.
Oh, yeah.
So every one of those lights that we're looking at has a huge well of gravity within the center of it. So,
gosh, yes.
It would definitely mean gravity is pulling them together, I would think.
Oh, yeah.
You're right, Thomas.
Yeah. But, you know, you look at the structures of this, they say if you look at the structures of that make up the universe, it resembles the structure of a brain.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
You never know. Yeah.
You never know, my friend. Absolutely. Let me get back to this. Is there anything else? I think, well, Mike, we've covered a majority of the things for today's show. Is there anything that you wanted to cover on your side?
It's been slow lately. Nothing at the moment right now.
Yeah. Well, one thing I do want to bring up, since we did talk to this a little bit earlier before we bring this to a close. I think our audience will appreciate this. Mike, here is a picture from inside that mine that the United States government deals with to go ahead and, if you want to call it, deal with the retirement of all government employees. They actually drive around the facility on little tricycles and climb up on ladders to get access to the boxes.
So you mean to tell me, with the money that the government spends for our hard-earned money, they haven't updated this system since the 50s?
Why update it? It works.
Yeah, except it barely is able to function.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we might put some people out of a job, but you know what? A penny saved is a penny earned.
Yeah, I hear that. And it's not wrong.
Yeah, how do you explain to your kids, yes, I go ahead and ride a tricycle around in a mine and deal with and I deal with the papers for the retirement of government employees. It just doesn't make sense.
No, it really doesn't. I didn't know that the system was that archaic and obsolete and still running to this day without any changes. But Elon brought that out. No other previous administration said a word about it.
And this is the kind of stuff they're complaining and yelling about, that we should, you know, when people go ahead and start screaming and yelling about stuff when you're uncovering corruption, who are the people that are going and screaming? It's the people who are corrupt.
Right. It's the people who are guilty who usually make the most noise about things.
Corporal Abe and then Daryl has their hands up.
Yeah, the ladders and tricycle thing kind of got me a bit confused about reality. But I wanted to bring up, I thought it would be relevant to what you were talking about earlier. Hope's object, if you could check that out. That's a pretty, very unique object.
Take it for a minute, Mike.
Space, and it's very unique. That's all I can say. Its nickname is the Cosmic Turducken because it's apparently like 3 galaxies in one. It's something that we've not really seen too often in space, but it's very, very interesting. I saw somebody else, Rebecca, in the chat. She kind of agreed with me there. So if anybody wants to check that out, Hope's object.
Oh, it is. Hey, that's a very interesting picture that we saw. And, you know, obviously there's more to reality than meets the eye. And we barely scratched the surface. But if this disclosure moves forward and we have public access to advanced technology, you'll see just how quickly it'll become much smaller than the way it is today. Our reality.
Mike, I agree with you 100%. But I think the most frustrating part, for at least I'll speak for myself, but I'll also mention everybody else, or at least my friends, is that reality seems to be classified, and there's so many things out there like Hoax Object, NHI, and these things that we're seeing. When are we going to be treated like adults? At what point? In this lifetime, in the next lifetime?
Oh, I think in this lifetime, within the next 4 years, actually a lot sooner than that.
Right. It's going to be during this administration.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, yep.
Hopefully, guys. Great show.
Thank you, sir. Daryl Zernick, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to quickly say that this whole documents in a mountain thing reminds me of a Monty Python movie, or a scene from a Monty Python movie. The people that are riding bikes, 1,000 people in a mountain, riding people's bikes around, and what the elevator breaks, the guy can't retire. It's like right out of a Monty Python movie. Exactly.
Exactly. Thank you, sir. Greg O'Brien, your hands up.
Hey, so going back to the whole cosmic web thing, have you ever asked yourself, why is everything eventually become a circle, and why is everything spinning? Does that give you a hint that it's not complete yet and it's not done, whatever it's doing? Seriously, like everything's spinning like circles. It's,
Yeah, interesting. I hear you, friend. And it's just a matter of, things are spinning and things are moving along pathways. It's almost like the movements in a circulatory system, right?
And yeah, exactly. And become like in a ball, like a cell, like the Earth.
Yeah.
If you look from space, you have the atmosphere and the nucleus in the center. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, man. I'm glad you brought that up. Great picture.
And one thing Lou also said, sometimes things aren't necessarily big, looking from the aspect of looking huge. Sometimes for some of this stuff, we may be looking things that are going much smaller. So again, we may be dealing with aliens that are coming from a smaller dimension into something large versus something larger coming down for what we're dealing with.
To piggyback on what you said real quick, he also said if you're the only person in said space, in infinite space, you wouldn't know how big you were. Are you really, because you have nothing to compare it to? And if all of a sudden you do have something compared to, then what if they're smaller or bigger? And then again, what do you compare that to? So yeah, great conversation. I love that one.
Great points, Greg. Thank you very much. Last question of the night coming from Sergeant Daniel. Daniel, go ahead.
Yeah, so what is your opinion on, do you think that Trump is just waiting, because he has a lot on his plate now, but I mean, he's going to change the world. And he's going to become a legend if he releases this information.
Well, don't forget, the new head of the FBI hasn't even been appointed to office yet. So we're still waiting to get everyone in the executive branch to get into all these different roles. And I have a good feeling that once we get the full team in place, the things will start moving for disclosure a little bit faster.
I think it's a good thing that, they have obviously the House Speaker made it, okayed the task force, and he's not doing anything without Trump. So that's a good thing. That unless they're going to come out and say there's nothing, then I think we're in trouble. But I have a feeling that Trump's going to use that and make a giant stage of it, and he'll become a legend because nobody's done it before.
Yeah.
He'll go down in the history books for sure, which we know he wants.
Absolutely. And I think I agree with you. I think that if he's able to turn the country around and, or whatever, if he's able to, do what he wants to do, on top of that, becoming the person that says we're not alone, I think it's going to be monumental.
And not just says it, but actually brings out the facts to back it up and show that it's been a coordinated cover-up by
the Democrats.
Well, not necessarily by the Democrats, but by the unelected bureaucrats who have been running our country, them and the military-industrial complex.
Right. No, if he can blame it on the Democrats, it definitely will come out. So anyway, Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Mike, what a great show today, huh?
Yeah, good conversation, good, interesting facts and information. Yeah, it was good. Friday. It was not bad for a Friday show.
Absolutely. On that note, I want to go ahead and thank everybody for your wonderful super chats today. Thank you very much. We appreciate all your love and support of everything we do here at Disclosure tonight. And yes, we are a fan-funded program, and we appreciate every dollar and penny that comes in for what we do here. I want to go ahead and thank the following people for your super chats, including Mr. Grimlock, Tim Jackson, Donna Fitzpatrick, Tia Marie, Charles Kerr, Ashley Canaday, Ian Harding, and starting off tonight's super chats, Gizmo. Thank you very much. I appreciate all your love and support of everything we do here. Mike, it's been a great show. We've had a bunch of people in the back talking and sharing this information from LUE Elizondo. I thought it was a great document to get through. Very interesting, to say the least.
It was a fun document to get through. He dropped a lot of breadcrumbs in that one.
Oh, yeah, he did.
But, I want to remind our audience that we're going to be on again tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
So we'll see everybody again tomorrow.
Yeah.
They can come and join us.
Absolutely, Mike. And as we usually say at the end of every broadcast, eyes open, no fear, be safe, everyone. But
go back to Party City where you belong.
Absolutely. We'll catch you on the flip side. Good night, everybody. Y'all come back now. Here, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.